I'm Brian Barnhart, voice of the Fighting Illini, here every Illinois men's basketball game on WLS AM 890. Now back to WLS's best three-point shooter, Steve Cochran.
And I got a sweet little 15-foot fadeaway, too. I don't like to brag, but I still got hops. Some people say my vertical is up to 4 inches. Yeah.
Nice.
It's quite impressive.
4 inches.
Yeah. Well, Deon Thomas
Very
hears about
impressive.
that. So, Deon Thomas is here. Chancellor Robert J. Jones is here. We got two of the greats in the house. And let's start with you, Deon. What do you think about a 4-inch vertical? It's pretty impressive, don't you think?
Well, first of all, I want to talk about that. How much did you pay Brian for that? I'm just wondering. I haven't seen that, Jay Steve. So I got to question it. But your vertical is about as high as mine is right about now.
Well, you know what? I'm 62. I feel like 4 inches is 2 more than other guys my age.
Hey, at 62, 4 inches is pretty doggone good.
So, especially a guy with one knee. Chancellor Jones is here as well. You got to be awfully proud of this Illini basketball team.
I am very, very proud of them. I think they're probably one of the finest teams in the country. And so we are very, very excited about this season.
So, Deon, talk about this. You're on a nice roll. Got 2 or 3 in a row. And, this continues, obviously, into March Madness. March Madness, by the way, is now April Madness. And eventually you get to the championship. I think, what is the championship, August 10th this year?
It feels like it was. First of all, I have to say good morning, Chancellor Jones. It's a pleasure, as always, to be on with you, my friend, as well as my best friend, Andrea.
Good morning, Deon.
Love you, Deon.
I have to agree with Chancellor Jones. I mean, this team is special. And we've seen teams in the past that have been really good, but I just don't know if the other teams have had this type of depth. To be honest, the age of this team makes it, as Coach Underwood has said, really easy to coach because when teams are older, they're smarter, and they normally have an idea of what it takes to be successful, and this team has shown that. Coming off another big win over in Columbus, because any win on the road in the Big Ten is very, very difficult. And for them to continue to play the way they have, Coach Underwood has performed the way he has. I mean, over his tenure, he has the most.
He's good. He's good. That's hard not to like that guy.
He's been killing it, man. He's been killing it, and this team is really, really doing a great job this year.
So let me take you off the board for a second for both of you. Last night in town, we also had on the other side of town, you had Caitlin Clark in Iowa in town to throttle the women of Northwestern. Yeah. Deon, you can speak to this. Phenom that you were, as far as I'm concerned, still are. She's something else, isn't she?
Hey, that young lady is special. I mean, she's beyond something else. I mean, she's special. Remember, I come from the era of, some great Lisa Leslie and many of the others. But I don't know if we've ever seen anyone that is Steph Curry-like.
She can make it from anywhere.
I mean, she just plays with such freedom. Her ball handling is so smooth and effortless. And, yes, I mean, she pulls up from the logo.
Yeah. She made one last night from her dorm back in Iowa. That's the kind of range she has. Next up for the Illini, you got Nebraska. Obviously, you got to win the ones you're supposed to win and then beat the ones that you're supposed to beat that are, at your level. This is the time to get serious and get on a roll going into the tournament. Any concerns?
Yes, always. And Nebraska's good. I mean, this isn't Fred Hoiberg's old Nebraska team. I mean, they're pretty doggone good. And, the Japanese assassin over there, the little samurai, Tokunawa, that kid can really shoot the ball. He really gets them going. So you're right. When you're at home, you cannot sleep on teams. So they have to come out and be prepared for this team, which I know Brad will have them ready, because you got to win that home because road wins are not promised.
Hey, Deon, quick question. What is your favorite part about game day?
My favorite part about game day. I love that. That's a great question, Andrea.
That's actually Jane. Andrea's over here going, good question, Jane.
Yeah, there you go. Now that I'm on the radio, it's the lead up to watching the players as they not come out for the start of the game, but when they walk out on the court before the game, as they're out there warming up and their interactions with one another to see, whether they're talking to the coaches and going over finishing touches of their game plan and things of that nature. It's all of the stuff before the game, I think is what I enjoy most, because I still get nervous during the game. Now that I'm sitting there on the radio, Brian Barnhart will tell you I'm itching and ready to go, and a lot of the times I'm ready to play.
He keeps looking over at Underwood. He's waiting for Underwood to wave him in.
Oh, yeah. Let me in, Coach.
I love watching Dane Deja play. He's become one of my absolute favorite players. He had 7 points on Tuesday night, 5 rebounds, 1 block on 3 of 5 shooting from the floor. He's career high 66%. How come he doesn't play more?
I don't know. I'm not in practice every day, so I really, that's a difficult one for me to comment on. But I will say this, and Coach Underwood's plan is they like to play fast, and let's just be quite honest. Dane is not the fastest player on the court. I think if he was a better outside shooter, where especially with the way Illinois is playing now, with Ty Rodgers getting to the basket, with Marcus Damas doing a lot of his work within that 10 to 15-foot range, with Terrence Shannon driving to the basket, it just creates more openings and more driving lanes for them to play. Whereas if you have Dane in there, there's just not as much space.
Right.
Because he's there, his defender there, others are there. So that's the only thing that I can think of. But, I don't know for certain why not. But I will say this. He is going to be needed, and Coach Underwood has spoken on this many times, especially when it comes to tournament time. It is going to be a necessity to have him out there and have him on the floor. So he just has to make sure that he maintains and be ready. They always say be ready when your name is called.
Yeah. Well, again, you're ready to go. You're there. I mean, he could call me on my phone anytime he's got my number. I'm only 2.5 hours away, unless I'm in town.
The best 3-point shooter and the best post player ever. I think we make a dynamic duo.
Right. And by the way, I said 15-foot fall away jumper. It's a 15-foot fall down jumper at this point.
Right.
So as long as it goes in, doesn't matter. Listen, it's great to have you on, and I would encourage everybody as we start Black History Month to go back and look at the career of Deon Thomas, and you're going to go, man, I got to do a little YouTube on him. Look how good he was. The legacy of great players includes Deon, and you're a modest guy, but we always appreciate your expertise, and we love hearing you on the games.
I appreciate it, guys. Well, I will say I don't know how much YouTube videos out there. They weren't videotaping a whole lot when I was playing, man. It just makes you feel so old.
Little camcorders.
Don't say it.
There actually are some YouTube stuff. It's court reporters who did sketches of when Deon's playing, and they took pictures and posted it. Thank you, man. Go get a win.
All right, I appreciate it. Take care. You guys have a great morning. Chancellor Jones, as always, it's a pleasure.
And he will join us.
Thank you, Deon. Good morning.